In the past, how dare you? You know what? I'm sorry, I don't have an unlimited jersey supply of ones.
What's the newest Steeler player jersey you have?
The one that I have that is actually still playing, the only one I have is Cameron Hayward, the defensive guy, number 97. I think he's the only guy. I'd have to look back, but he might be the only guy that's still around. All the other ones have gone, moved on, or been traded or retired. So
Well,
we're living in the
not that
past.
you,
I
not
am enjoying Antonio Brown on Twitter. He is pretty damn funny. He thinks he's very funny on Twitter, so
yeah.
he's
Well, he's a
quite
lunatic.
active. Okay, so welcome to week 5 in review, kiddies. Let me start this here and let me pull up our slides. Slideshow. Yeah, start slideshow. There we go. Let me know when you can see this. Oh, you know what? I don't think you can see this. Hold on. I don't think I've shared my screen.
I can't see it. I
Sorry.
see nothing but your 12
Share
monkeys hairdo.
screen. Exactly. That one. Share. Good. Okay. Now can you see my screen?
It is painting now. Yes, I can.
Awesome. Okay, and there we go. There's week 5, and look at all the lovely
Look
colors.
at all
And
these pictures.
look at Dak Prescott winning the game against the Steelers in the last minute. That was fun to watch Sunday night. All right, let's get to the first game in review. That would be you versus Joseph in.
Okay, here we go. Boy, what a tale of two seasons so far. My first half and second half of this first few weeks have been quite stunning. My team sucks. Complete free fall. I lose. I only managed to put up 119 measly points to Joe's 153. Stomps me with 20 points from Justin Fields and a whopping 45 and a half, basically, from Jamar Chase.
That was a shootout game.
Down.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got Wandale
Wandale Robinson, that's right. You pronounced it correctly.
and just had good scores the whole way down, really. Looking over at my anemic team, boy, where was Josh Allen? Not there. Neither was Alvin Kamara, nor was what did Trey Sermon did.
Trey Sermon had a
Okay.
good day.
18.3 picked him up as a backup to Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
Nothing from that Tyler Johnson loser. That the Rams, they don't have any receivers. They got to throw it to someone. Apparently, it's not Tyler Johnson.
Not going to be Johnson.
I got no help other than I was proud of my other pickup. Both the Commanders and Sermon came off the wire. Loving my moves there.
Nice.
I left some points on the bench with Caleb Williams, but he will never, ever see a starting spot for Josh Allen. So
Yeah, it's hard to put
highlight
him.
those all you want. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just pointing out that there were some other big ones, and yeah, you couldn't see it. No one's going to not saw Josh Allen. It's just they're mocking you from the bench, which is the worst feeling.
I know,
because
I know.
it could have helped you. It might not have won, but it could have certainly helped you. So
Could have helped.
that's
Could
a
have
rough one. And yeah, Joe had a really good day from that Jamar Chase Baltimore
he
shootout. Did you see any of that Cincy Baltimore game? I'm only
No.
asking. No, okay, yes, I was going to say unless you had the red zone, I don't think they featured that. It was nuts. It went back and forth, and there was almost no defense on the field, as you can see from the 38-41 score. There was a play Lamar Jackson made. Since you didn't watch it, I'll just tell you this one quick one where he's rolling out. Looks like they've got him. Looks like he's going to just probably throw it away. He's almost to the edge of the field, and he looks down, hucks it down, finds Isaiah Likely in the end zone open. I'm like, not many people would do that, and I don't know if that was the wisest decision, but it worked out for him. So, congrats to Baltimore on that win. Let's move on to the next one. And
You know what's
finally,
interesting on that previous game?
Yes.
Baltimore defense ended up scoring 0.0 on the money, almost like they didn't play, but it's the defense. Of course they played.
Yeah.
Just somehow he got the perfect.
it's because the the total number of points scored against, and
Yeah.
probably other stuff too. Yeah, that
All
took
right,
it away.
let's look at this one.
There we go.
Got a tough loss here. Greg Matty, again, maybe the greatest trade of all time, gets him immediately 2 wins back to back, bringing him right back into the playoff picture. Takes down Greg by 2 measly points. Let's see how you did it. Baker Mayfield
Yes.
comes through with almost 30. Nicely done there. Breland Allen, who even is that?
He is the second running back in the Jets, and actually he had a really down game this one, but he's had some good games.
You
And
think?
again,
Yeah,
my other guys were
3.8.
on a bye. I had Montgomery on a bye, so I had to put in somebody.
All right, well, Mike Evans, who I think you got in the trade, right?
Nope. I started with him. I drafted him.
Oh, you started. Okay, Derrick Henry.
Olave, I got in the trade. Thanks,
Yeah,
Todd.
that didn't help too much. 3 points, but thanks, Todd. Nothing. You got out huge on that trade.
I know.
Okay, looking at Cade Cotton or Otten, or
Otten.
whoever it is, it continues the year-long trend of tight ends refusing to score any points of any.
Hey, I was happy for that 7, believe me.
Yeah, no doubt, right? And then you had a big 25, not a monster score, but it was enough to take down Greg, who ended up, let's see here, not a ton from Bucky Irving, a couple from Cam Akers, kind of did what he was supposed to do, but just a bad game from Pickens, not a great game for, let's see, Cortland Sutton, just tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking at the benches, he couldn't have done any better. He had 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros on his bench, and looking at yours, kind of a similar story. So you get your second win. I'm sure you're happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. I thought I was going to lose this one as it kept closing in, especially because Harrison Butker, again, look at his third highest score with his kicking. That night, he just kept kicking. I was like, oh my God, he's going to end up beating me with this kicker, much like another Monday Night Massacre that Todd put on me with Justin Tucker back in the day. But thankfully, I slid in with that, so that was a tough one. But boy, I need a lot more points to beat anybody going forward. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, the next one. Wing Leader 13 going up against the Malibu Stacies. Malibu Stacies bouncing back big time and in a huge win over a very tough team with Wing Leader 13. So let's look at them first. Score was 155 to 109. Big win. Kyron Williams continues to have a solid year this year. C.J. Stroud coming through as he's supposed to, but Brock Bowers ends up tripling up on his projected output for the day, and then the Panthers and the kicker don't help. They combine for a minus 3.84.
Yeah,
that is rough. Looking at the bench, not much. Going over to Don's team, who I need to double check. Yeah, she might get the perfect. Well, we'll see. 15.9 versus 15.4 for that wide receiver spot, so she may have lost out on that. But otherwise, a perfect lineup set by her. Not a great day from Aaron Rodgers compared to the week he had previously.
No, he had a rough game, yeah.
She gets 31 from Garrett Wilson, 15 from, and then another 30 from T. Higgins. Gets her 155. Very nice. Good win for her. Again, not a lot on the bench. Maybe you could have got an extra 4 or 5 points. That's about it.
Yeah, it was a tough game for Wing Leader and Sam over there. Again, she's missing her number one guy, Saquon Barkley, who was on a bye that week, so that puts her behind the 8 ball. But she got good production out of a lot of people. Again, didn't help that the Panthers gave her a negative score, but Don just had the superior day with Garrett Wilson finally having a good day. I mean, he was drafted really high, and this has been the only week I think he's really produced. And then T. Higgins, welcome back to the party, T. My goodness, kidding. all the volume of the passing for Joe Burrow went between T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You can see that reflected in their big numbers. So congrats on the win for Don. Tough luck, Sam. Better luck next week. Let's move on to the next two. That would be Dallas Hertz, aka that is Kat versus Todd. So this is brother versus sister.
Yeah, sibling rivalry here. Uncle Todd getting it done to the tune of 148.7, taking down Kat's 113.72. Looking at the scores, not a great day for Mahomes. Not sure if that's indicative of this play as of late. I just don't remember a bunch of big scores from him.
No, he hasn't had a breakout year or his normal big year, but continue.
Oh gosh, A-Chain, that's a crazy low score compared to the year he's been having. He gets 2.7, projected to get like 17. Same thing for Aaron Jones. Her running backs just did not show up. CeeDee Lamb gets about half of what he was supposed to, but he was picked up by Zay Flowers there. And Kelsey finally getting a score. And then that Young Ho Koo, 18.4 ain't nothing to...
No, I should have highlighted him. No, he had a big day. You're absolutely correct.
But that was not enough. Todd gets 20 points from Dak Prescott in that big win. DeAndre Swift, who I think he got from you, right?
Yep. No. He always had that. He tried to give him to me. And he was sucking up until the last 2 weeks, and now he's had 2 huge weeks in a row. So congrats on that.
Yeah, and then 25 nearly from Ayuk. Well done, Todd. You get a win. We're getting a lot more disparity in the standings. I'm looking at the benches. Maybe could have got something from Brian Thomas Jr., although I'm not 100% sure I would start him over those other guys. And then on Todd's, Chase Brown, decent day. Hey, he's got a lot of double-digit points on the bench. He's got depth, is what this says.
Yeah, Todd has done a really good job at backing up and grabbing people off the wire and other places to really bolster his team altogether. A tough day for Cat. I was going to say, you mentioned the low score for Aaron Jones. Part of that was because he got injured. That's why he was out of the game early, and he didn't come back for the rest of the game. Achane is just he's a product of his environment. That Miami team is a mess right now. They're still going with the crappy quarterbacks, and it's reflective here with his bad score, right? So, I mean, we'll see if he turns that around.
They could just play the run and force them to throw. They're going to get mistakes. And,
yeah. And you're absolutely right about Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't had the lights out season, but again, he's on the best team, and he's probably the best quarterback in the league right now. So, you've got to ride that horse, and I'm sure he's going to keep producing for you. So, let's move on to the next one. That would be Mr. Nick versus
the best quarterback in the league.
Okay. Nick versus Jason. Yeah.
Going up against Jay. Nick gets it done with a tough loss, Jay. Sorry, brother. He ends up getting 165.5, but it wasn't enough to take down Nick, who gets 177.16.
Big scores.
Let's see.
This is like us last week, yeah.
You're looking down at his bench. I'm like, oh my God, you left 28 on the bench?
Mm-hmm.
Look at Lamar Jackson. 43.5 points, darn near. That's, you start with that, you can almost have them do anything else.
Yeah.
They did get more help from Tucker Kraft. Apparently, he's the only tight end who wants to score. Oh my gosh,
right? That's insane.
And then Darius Slayton gets 28.2. Average scores the rest of the way down, but those couple of monsters got him well over, over 100 just with those three.
Yeah.
Looking at Jay's score, like I said, 165. Got lots of production the whole way down this card, just not enough. 20 or more, basically, from Jaden Daniels, Rico Dowdle, Kareem Hunt,
waiver wire gem Kareem Hunt,
Moore, the Broncos D, and then good double digits from Diggs and Ferguson, and just Downs. Great scores. Looking at his bench, you got Ramondre, but the guys he started did more than that, so he didn't do anything wrong there. Just a tough matchup.
Yeah, it was a tough one for Jay. And again, this is like one of those games where there's two super high scores, and it just happens you're playing that one that has the higher score that day. So rough one for him. I'm trying to think of any injury news amongst these. I can't see any. Tucker Kraft, did an outstanding job in that Green Bay game. And Darius Slayton, who is kind of the forgotten man on that Giants receiving squad. He's been around there forever, and he's been pretty steady. He had a really big day there. And you see on Nick's bench, Malik Neighbors is still out, and so stepping into that place was Darius Slayton. He had a big day for Mr. Nick, so congrats on that one. And sorry, Jay, better luck next week. Let's move on to the next one, which is your sister versus Mr. Clemens.
Okay, so gosh, poor Terry, still searching for that elusive first win. She did get good scores from players like Drake London, Rashid Shaheed, and Kenneth Walker. Gets a decent score. So she's getting production. The single digits don't help out of White and the Bills and Johnson. She gets a total of 130, which is okay. Looking at her bench, God! Kirk Cousins, 44 points. That would have done it.
Yes.
That would have done it. But, she's got an issue with figuring out who to start. I don't know why she is starting Zach Ertz.
Thank you. I said that last week to her. I said that on this program. I said, hey, I understand Kittle can be up and down, but how do you put him over Ertz?
Yeah,
and here it is again, 20 points to 3 points.
Yeah, on the flip side, Uptown Borough Kev coming now. He's got 2 wins back-to-back against 2 Heath members, thanks to 46, nearly 47 out of Joe Burrow. And then just decent scores the rest of the way down. But shoot, and one guy gets you about a third of your total score for the week.
Pretty good.
That's going to look good. So he did leave some meat on the bone.
Oh my gosh, look at Darnell Mooney with 33 for crying out loud.
Darnell Mooney might have to go up into the starting.
Did you watch that Monday night game by any chance?
No.
Okay, it was Atlanta versus who is it? Tampa Bay, and it was Atlanta in a shootout with a wild scoring. So you can look at that. That's why Kirk Cousins has so much. That's why Mooney has it. What's his name? Drake London had a ton. That's why it was a huge shootout. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he's averaging 12.7. He's just coming off this monster game.
Yeah, and
Terry's
Terry's gonna rebound next week because I think AJ Brown comes back, who is her number one wide receiver. So that's gonna help make it easier on her choices to add somebody in there who's gonna really do well. And I'm hoping she changes the Zach Ertz to George Kittle, and I hope he helps her out to maybe get a win for next week.
Yeah, I will say these limited rosters
are really screwing us, Joe and Greg.
Especially for teams like me. I've got like 3 guys hurt.
Yeah.
It allows me to keep
and you don't want to drop
guys.
any of them, right? Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, God. So I'm scrambling every time I'm on the waiver wire.
Yeah, you are the team that almost needs a second injured reserve spot for crying out loud.
Puka Nakua, Jonathan Taylor was out. And then Rice, the number 1 receiver, going in after 3 weeks.
Yeah,
down.
it's
Season
rough.
ending.
It's
like,
rough.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about standings.
Let's.
So, things tightening up all over the place. Making it fun again.
Mm-hmm.
Make fantasy football fun again. Uptown Borough moves into the lead with a record of 3-2, leading the way in Brockway, 2-way tie for second. Jason jumps up to 2-3, and Joe, even though he's coming off a big win, he's in third, but only 1 game out of first.
Yep.
So that's amazing. Going over to Ogdenville, even though I've been just sucking, so is everybody else, except for you. We've got a 3-way tie.
Thank
in that
goodness.
Division.
Yes.
All of us are 3-2. It's anyone's division there. Little more breakaway happening in North Haverbrook. They are sorting themselves out there. Nick's picks undefeated. So you've got our lone undefeated team and our lone winless team.
Yeah, that's tough.
In North Haverbrook. So Greg is going to benefit greatly. As long as he can continue treading water, he may be able to get in there. Next picks, obviously,
off to a fast start, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then finally, we have Springfield. Again, another division with a 3-way tie for first place between the Malibu Dallas Hurt,
okay, go ahead.
And Uncle Todd's family feedback. Man, a couple of weeks ago, it was looking like some teams were already out. And some people were just going to dominate. And it's totally
now look,
different
right?
Picture.
Yep, totally.
Unbelievable. 5 weeks in, and we have 3 divisions where it's either all the way tied or 1 game separates all 3 teams. Just amazing.
You there? Oh, shoot, I lost you. Keep going. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, yep. All right, that's it for standings.
Yeah, so that's it for standings. Again, like you said, a lot of evenness amongst all the teams and only one with the big swing, that being North Haverbrook. But again, it's still early. We got a lot of weeks to go. Terry can right herself and get back in it and put the threat against Greg, and Nick could fall off. But he's got a pretty solid team, so we'll see where we go from there. We have the updates from basically how we did last week, so I'll read through these really quickly. Again, Nick's picks. Again, impressive 177 points, very nice. Bottom of the pile, not a bad week for being bottom of the pile with 109 points, better than my 78 I think it was last week. So good job there, Sam. Bragging rights, good job Malibu Stacy's again. Blew out by 46.7. That was pretty impressive. Bad beat. This would be. This is me. This is me versus Greg, and I only won by 1.98 points, not even a full 2. Lucky break. There's me. I would have lost to a lot of teams, but I came away with the win. Yes, give me the luck of the Irish. Not so lucky. That would be Jason. We talked about that. The 165 versus 177. That hurts because he probably would have beat just about everybody else.
Second highest score. He would have.
Yeah, sharpshooter goes to Moa this week. Good job, Maddie. Nice jobs. I nailed it with 100% accuracy. Defense wins. Hell yes. Minnesota Vikings got me a nice 25. Very good. And then the waiver wire gem, Nick's picks. Again, Darius Slayton, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Good pickup for that. So that was pretty interesting for that one. And then here were the results of the claims made yesterday, I should say. Let's talk about a few of these. Looks like you got into some of the bidding. Mr. Chase McLaughlin is now on your roster. Look at you going for the kicker. You beat out Todd with a $0 one. That's good. Jason sniped me with the Eagles with his $5. And again, you can see my $0 bid for the Eagles.
$0.
Because I'm cheap. I only got like $50 left, dude. I'm trying to make it last. Todd wins another one with getting Juju. Welcome back, Juju Smith-Schuster. That's whose jersey I should have wore since he came back and caught that touchdown and is back in the Kansas City rotation. So good job there for Uncle Todd. Now, this is interesting. You see here where Todd bid both $11 and $29. I don't know if he bid 11 first and the 20. How does that? Why didn't it go for the $29? I don't understand. Unless
Probably because
maybe he put in 11 and 29 or
oh
whatever
no
he
no
got.
no no. Okay, so he put in too much money on the 29, so it didn't take.
Oh, and so he put in another one at 11 just in case he had.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay, so maybe that's why it works. I couldn't understand that.
Yes.
Nice job on grabbing Quentin Johnson. He's been handed around like a young lady to dance by a few partners. Let's hope he works out for you. Ray McLeod, you grabbed him again. He had a big day for the Atlanta in that shootout. Tank Bigsby, there's the big dollars. Look at that, $70. Big
Oh
swing
my.
for Todd. He grabbed Tank Bigsby, who should be the number one in Jacksonville. Sorry, Travis Etienne. We'll
So
see how
the
that.
Devlins know something. This is like a report that I would bring into court for proving a insider trading information case. Clearly, the Devlins know something
Well,
about.
I knew
Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby was something good. I just didn't. I didn't want to. I didn't
You're
have
not
as
going to get
much.
him for $0, so why bid?
No, I didn't have as much confidence. I didn't want to spend the money on him because I need to keep that money for the rest of the season. God forbid
You don't
something else
want to
happen.
spend money on anybody.
I've spent money on a few people. So I spent $41 on that stupid Braylon Allen. I don't know if that's going to be worth it in the end. And then $9 for the Texans for Todd. Good job there. And interestingly enough, after Todd was spending all that money, I thought, I know I've spent a lot. Let me look up Todd's, budget. Ready for this? We're in week 5.
Yeah.
Zero, Mr. Blutarski. He is out of money.
it.
All of Todd's
it.
bids now will be for $0 going forward, people. So
That's-
just know that.
2 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, no, you're correct. He spent. I don't know about
he-
last year,
no,
but
not
I know
really.
there was a year. It might have been the year that I won my last championship. He had lost. This is before we had $0 bids and we had to have a dollar bid at least. And he had spent all of his money, and then his tight end got injured, and he literally couldn't replace his tight end with anybody because he couldn't put him in because he had no money. And he literally still beat enough teams to get into the playoffs. I think he won like the first round of playoffs even with no tight end, and then ended up getting beaten at some point in time. But it was still a remarkable thing to do with no money and no tight end.
Well, I don't know what happened. I meant to bring up as a change, and I don't even know if it's possible. Jay's probably going to correct me.
Okay.
But one thing that I would love to have added
Mm-hmm.
is with trades, if you can add money.
Yeah, I don't think we have a systematic way, but I think we agreed to it in theory at when everybody got together for our draft this year. I think we said you could do it, so we can manually adjust that. That's not a problem. In fact, I think I even sent a trade to Greg saying, "Hey, I don't have anybody I want to trade, but if you want to drop this guy, but no, I was saying I was going to drop somebody, but I said I'll either drop him to the wire and you can get him, or if you want to give me some of your fab, I'll take that." He never responded, but anyway,
Hey, that's collusion. You can't just drop somebody and give
Well,
somebody.
no. I was offering to trade him just for some straight up cash. I said, "Hey, you give me some cash, I'll give you this guy," because he was a backup to somebody who had going who might be hurt. So I was just trying to look for that.
Great. All right, Jay, you and I need to get together to talk through this, see if this is a collusion or league defunct.
But not a league defunct.
We'll let you know what the committee
It
findings
didn't
are.
happen. I just
We're gonna
proposed
do
it. He
on,
never
like,
even
the,
answered it.
Special, what is it? The special
Dispensation, exactly.
Or no, the special investigation like they did on January 6th.
Special investigator. He's
Start our
going to hire
committee.
special investigator. There's a whole committee being set up.
Could you imagine if we brought people into that committee from this league? It would be like 13, he's guilty. Hang them.
How dare you? Exactly. They would all have me in chains. I'd be frog marched. All right, so we're looking at the matchups for next week. We don't have a whole lot of time left. We got 4 minutes before we got to wrap this up. So do you want to look at any of these matchups? I can scroll through them if you want to.
Yes. Okay, start at the top, please. Okay, we've got a grudge match. Starting things off
Todd.
between you and Todd. I love
The
it.
trade match is what I'm going to call this one, is who got the better of the
it's even
trade.
better. It's even better because of that. I like that.
Yeah.
Dallas hurts. You've got Kat going up against Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn coming off a big win. Kat, I think, lost to Todd this week, so she's looking for a win.
Mm-hmm.
Wing Leader 13 coming off of a tough loss. That's probably not going to continue to happen, although Greg is tough too. Sneaky tough. Gentlemen's for Curly's going against
Terry
Jay.
looking for her
Terry
first win. Yep.
Looking for her first win, absolutely. Nick's picks. Oh, God.
Oh, going up against you, the big swinging against you. Look out.
Yeah. It's like,
You better start the right quarterback, Jackal.
boy, what a tough 3 weeks I'm going to have. I don't have a lot of confidence in my team this week. And then finally, Kev coming off of a big win. Same with Joe. Joe took me out. So here's 2 teams on the winning path. Looking, one of them's going to
Somebody's gonna lose, yep.
that, and the other is going to have a slight little break in their winning streak here.
Yeah, and that's a division game for them, right? They're both in Brockway, so that'll matter just a little
Oh
bit
yeah, that's
more.
cool.
It could switch around because it could make Joe 3-3, and it could force obviously Clemens back to 3-3. It could tie them up basically in that game. Let's see if there's any more division matchups that I'm looking at. No.
Well, so Todd,
And Dallas Hurts and Malibu, they're both in the same division
I would
too.
probably root for Todd anyway, but Todd, I'm really
Of
rooting
course.
for you this week because
Jerk.
for once you're in my division. I need you to lose. Who else? Leader going to, so yeah, I will say that our division all has tough games this week.
Yeah, most definitely. It should be another fun week going into it. And again, with the bye weeks, it always makes it more interesting. And I think we have 4 teams on bye this week. And in those weeks where there's that many teams on bye, there's always some stars that come out that weren't there before that are great. And if you put them in, that's great. But if you missed them, it could be a bad loss for somebody because they're missing their big guns. And we'll see how that all works out this week. Should be another fun week of some matchups. We'll see who can break free. I'm hoping that Terry gets her first win. And we'll see if maybe you can upset Nick and give him his first loss, and so we can get a little more parity in some of that division.
Yeah, oh God, I can't believe it. So, anyway, Matt, keep your phone next to you in case the committee wants to reach out.
How dare you? In case they want to get back to us.
Special Investigative Committee on League.
They might need to talk to both. They may need to talk to Greg and I separately or something like that, right?
Oh, we're not putting you in the room together so you can work out your story.
I'll be giving him signals like, don't you say a word.
No, exactly.
Shh. Be like you remember the scene in I think it was, I don't know if it was Goodfellas or no, it was one of those mob movies where the judge is trying to make a decision and he puts up like 3 fingers, like, give me $30,000, and the other guy's like, how about 20,000? That's how it's going to be in this room. You're going to have to look for the signals.
Or it's going to be like that guy in The Godfather who finally shows up and then won't say anything, even though the state had him.
Exactly, right? First he says he's going to say, I don't remember what you're talking about. I don't know who Michael Corleone is. Let's just hope, and I don't know if you saw this in the news, but the Jets head coach was fired unceremoniously this week.
I saw that.
In the middle of it, and all the memes came out. The best one I think I posted to our thing was the one where in Goodfellas where they bring Tommy to the house, they tell him he's going to get him made. He's like, oh look, and they shoot him in the back of the head. I'm like, that's solid. It's like it was like, when HR immediately schedules a meeting on your calendar, you're like, hey, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
So another fun week. Good luck in week 6, everybody. We're getting into I was gonna say the October.
October, I love it.
Sorry, what do you call that? A Freudian slip? October.
No, I think you got to call it October.
Exactly. I'm all for that. All right, for Kevin Heath, this is Matt Dickey saying, what, Kevin?
Stay classy, BONESTORM.
That's right. Have a good time. How do I end this thing? End it. End it all. It's funny.